What the heck? No, no, no. Mrs. Hamilton just filed a restraining order on Brian just because he keep harming Millie? How awful. Mrs. Hamilton should know that it's not okay to file a restraining order on Brian like that. That's it. I am completely done with this nonsense. It's time to put a stop to her, once and for all.
Oh, hello, Mr. Franklin.
Hi, Clara. You are not going to believe what Mrs. Hamilton did.
Oh yes, Mr. Franklin, I already know what she did. She filed a restraining order on Brian just because he keep hurting Millie. How ridiculous that Mrs. Hamilton did this to Brian.
I know, Clara. So I think it's time to put a stop to her.
Oh yes, it is really time to put a stop to her, once and for all. You see, I've already talked to Zeta, Mr. Morris, and Miss Trunchbull what Mrs. Hamilton did to Brian. So, when Lucy Van Pelt comes home from school before 3:30, you tell her to come with you to the Hamiltons' family room. How does that sound?
I think that sounds good, Clara. And don't forget to tell her the same thing.
I'm on it, Mr. Franklin. I won't forget.
Thank you, Clara. Bye. Okay, Lucy. Now that you're home from school, I want you to come with me to the Hamiltons' family room.
Oh, okay, Mr. Franklin. But what for?
See, Lucy, it appears that Mrs. Hamilton filed a restraining order against Brian just because he keep harming Millie.
What the hell? Has she lost her mind? I can't believe Mrs. Hamilton did this to Brian. She should know that it's never okay to put a restraining order on him like that. So yes, Clara, I will come with Mr. Franklin to the Hamiltons' family room.
Thank you, Lucy.
Okay, Lucy. You know the drill. Let's go.
Sorry, Mr. Franklin, but she's not coming with you.
Why not Mrs. Van Pelt? Did it hear Clara? She told her that Mrs. Hamilton filed a restraining order on Brian just because he keep hurting Millie.
That's true, Mr. Franklin. He needs to keep away from Molly and Millie, because if he doesn't, Mrs. Hamilton will phone the police to take him into custody.
I have to agree with my wife. Now, we want Lucy to go to her room until dinner time.
I'm sorry, but she needs to come with me to the Hamiltons' family room, so I can tell Mrs. Hamilton to remove a restraining order from it.
No way, Mr. Franklin. She's not going to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room. Besides, she had to file it on Brian for a reason. So we're sorry, but we're refusing to let our daughter Lucy come with you to the Hamiltons' family room.
Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt, I'm going to give you one more chance. Either you let your daughter come with me right now, or else I will tell Zeta to call Lee to send you to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates.
How about no?
All right then, Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt, you had your chance. If you keep refusing to let Lucy come with me, I have no choice but to tell Zeta to call Lee to send you to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates.
You don't have to tell me, Mr. Franklin. I've already heard everything.
Hello, this is Lee speaking. Who is this?
Hi Lee, this is Zeta the Sorceress speaking, and I want to tell you something about Lucy's parents.
Wait, you're telling me this again?
I'm afraid so. You see, they just refused to let their daughter come with Mr. Franklin to the Hamiltons' family room. Now listen to me very carefully. Clara has already told me, Mr. Morris, and Miss Trunchbull that Mrs. Hamilton filed a restraining order against Brian Cuddles just because he keep hurting Millie.
That's true, Zeta. You see, Mrs. Hamilton had to file it on Brian for a reason. So if Lucy tries to take it off from the Hamiltons' family room, I will send her to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates.
I'm sorry, but you won't do it, because her parents decided not to move out of Mr. Franklin's way. So I would like you to send them to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, please.
Zeta, their daughter Lucy is a troublemaker, so she will be the one who's going to be sent to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates by me.
Come on, Lee, I'm serious. You will not send Lucy to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. I want you to send her parents there, 'cause they refused to let their daughter come with Mr. Franklin.
Please, Zeta, Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt would find the weather in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates to be too hot, so I can't send them there.
Goodness gracious heavens, Lee. I shouldn't have to repeat this over and over again. Send Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates right this instant.
Zeta, knock it off. I am not going to send them to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and that's the end of it.
For the last time, Lee, they are traveling to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, because they refused to let their daughter come with Mr. Franklin to the Hamiltons' family room. So please, just do it already.
Arg, fine Zeta.
Thank you, Lee. Goodbye.
Come on, we're not doing this over and over again. For the last time, Zeta, Lucy is a troublemaker. As Lee told you before, Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, is too hot for Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt. So their daughter is the one who will travel there, if she tries to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room.
That's correct. So Zeta, I'm afraid I have no choice but to call Mrs. Pitts to call Lee to return here, because Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt are not moving to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. And besides, like my husband said, if their daughter Lucy tries to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room, she will be sent there by Lee. I don't care about a restraining order. Seriously, I am not going to tell you again. Let Lee send Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates immediately. All right, Zeta, that is enough. We are not going to let Lee send Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and that's the end of it. So I'm sorry, but I'm calling Mrs. Pitts to call Lee to return here right now. Don't you dare. Now, for absolutely the last time, let Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt be sent to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates by Lee. So goodbye for now.
Okay, Lucy. Wait here while I talk to Mrs. Hamilton.
Okay, Mr. Franklin.
Hey, you're not Brian Cuddles.
That is correct, Mrs. Hamilton. I am Mr. Franklin. I am a debt collector, businessman, the owner of a hangman camp, and the CEO of Disney. Now, before you remove a restraining order, I need you to tell me where your twin daughters are.
Mr. Franklin, they are in their room with the triplet bunny girls. And do you really think I can remove a restraining order? No, absolutely not. I've had enough of Brian hurting Millie too many times.
I don't care about that. Just take it off.
Mr. Franklin, I said no. Listen to me. I had to file a restraining order on Brian because he keep hurting my teal daughter.
Mrs. Hamilton, last chance. Either you take it off right now, or else I will tell Lucy to come and take it off. Your choice.
How about no?
All right, that does it, Mrs. Hamilton. Because you keep refusing to remove a restraining order, I have no choice but to tell Lucy to come and take it off from the Hamiltons' family room.
Mr. Franklin, you don't have to tell Lucy. I'll deal with this.
Oh, thank you, Zeta.
Okay, Lucy, you know the drill.
Yes, Zeta. I'm going to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room, since Mrs. Hamilton keep refusing to take it off.
Please do, Lucy, because I am sick and tired of this restraining order.
Mr. Franklin, where is Lucy going?
She's going to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room. I told you to take it off, but you refused to listen.
And just what do you think you are doing?
Kaitlin, Abbie, it's not what it looks like. I can explain. I wasn't doing anything.
Lucy, don't lie to me. I know what you are doing. My little brother Mike just saw you the whole thing on his tablet. You were trying to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room, weren't you?
That's correct. Because Clara is sick and tired of this restraining order.
Well, guess what? You failed. Now come with me. I am taking you to your parents. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Van Pelt, your daughter is here.
Thanks, Kaitlin Abbie, for bringing her here. Besides, we specifically told her not to come with Mr. Franklin, but she disobeyed us.
I have to agree with that. We knew she was trying to remove a restraining order from the Hamiltons' family room, but luckily, she failed.
Yay, my little brother Mike saw the whole thing on his tablet. Okay then, I have to go back to my room.
All right then. Bye, Kaitlin Abbie.
All right, Lucy, it's time to get ready to go.
Come on, Lee, we are not doing this again. I thought Zeta called you to send my parents to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates.
Too bad, because Lisa has already called Bowser to call Mrs. Pitts to call me to send you to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Get dressed first, then come with me. No buts, no excuses, and no exceptions. This is your new home. You will stay in here until at the beginning of March. so I can send you back to Canada. And I think someone is calling me, so enjoy yourself.